The story begins with Noah, who is over the moon because it's her 18th birthday. Why? Because now she's an adult and thinks she can do whatever she wants. Spoiler: life's about to prove her wrong. She's busy missing her dad, even though she admits he wasn't exactly Father of the Year. Still, memories are memories, right? Her mom and Nick's dad throw her a party to celebrate. But guess what? Noah isn't having a great time. Why? Because her boyfriend Nick is MIA. Turns out, Nick's dad shipped him off to an internship to keep him away. Nice try, Dad, but this is a love story. A little later, Noah hears that Nick has arrived and bolts outside like she's in a rom-com. She practically tackles him with joy, saying, "I knew you'd come." They immediately start romancing like nobody's watching, except their parents are watching. Nick's dad and Noah's mom exchange awkward looks and quickly walk away because clearly the Romeo and Juliet act wasn't on their agenda. Nick, trying to be all romantic, gives Noah a necklace and tells her to wear it all the time. Classic move, Nick. Props for effort. The next day, they spend a lot of time together because apparently internships and responsibilities are just suggestions for Nick. Later, there's a party at Noah's school and she's on the dance floor, having the time of her life. Nick, meanwhile, stands in the corner like a brooding vampire, watching her. His friend, who has a thing for Noah's friend, starts whining about how life moves on, people grow apart, and relationships can fall apart. Wow! Thanks for the pep talk, buddy. Hearing this, Nick starts panicking. He decides to ditch his fancy London plans and stay back to do an internship nearby so he can spend more time with Noah. Because that's how life works, right? Just cancel big opportunities for high school love. The next day, Noah sees parents gifting their kids new cars, and she's all like, who even gives teenagers such expensive gifts? But surprise, her mom, dad, and Nick got her a car too. At first, she refuses, trying to play it cool, but Nick convinces her, and soon they're off on a drive. Nick takes her to his new house and drops the bombshell that he's canceled his London plans. He's ready to settle down with her. But Noah, being the only one with some sense, says, "Wait a second. I'd have to lie to my mom about living in a hostel. I'm done playing this hide-and-seek game." Finally, someone thinking logically. The next day, Noah's mom takes her to look at an apartment near college, where Noah will live with Gasp, another girl. Meanwhile, Nick starts working at his dad's law firm, where he's paired with Sophia, a gorgeous new hire. Drama alert. Nick, being Nick, tells Noah over the phone that Sophia is ugly and smells terrible. Nice save, Nick. Real convincing. Here's the twist. Sophia was actually hired by Nick's parents to distract him from Noah. That's right, they're pulling all the strings. Nick's parents are basically running the Operation Breakup show, while Nick and Noah keep playing their overly dramatic love game. Nova's mother shows her a photo of her and Nick together and drops the classic mom question. "What's going on between you two?" Nova, trying to keep things chill, says they've been separated, but she admits they're still in love. Mom, being the drama queen, tells her to stay away from Nick because, plot twist, he's her stepbrother. Mom really thought she had a mic drop moment there, but Nova wasn't buying it. Nova, visibly annoyed, shoots back, "I'm 18. I know what I'm doing." To which her mom, not one to lose a battle, angrily responds, "Fine, leave my house." Bold move. Kicking your kid out like you're running a hotel. Nova storms out and moves into an apartment, where she meets her new roommate, Gabrielle. Gabrielle, trying to be friendly, shares her tragic backstory. 2 years ago, she had a car accident while she and her husband were illegally street racing. Real Fast and Furious vibes. Gabrielle got seriously injured, and her husband ditched her for another relationship, leaving her shattered. Honestly, Gabrielle, sounds like you picked a winner there. Now, she doesn't trust men and warns Nova not to either. Meanwhile, Nova decides to visit her younger sister, and the three of them have a great time together. But the fun is interrupted when Nick's mom shows up. Nick's mom had left him 10 years ago, and he's still holding on to that grudge like it's a family heirloom. Nova takes Nick back to her apartment to comfort him. She tells him he should forgive his mom, but Nick fires back. "She didn't remember me for 10 years. Fair point. But Nick, maybe it's time to start charging rent for all the space she's taking up in your head. Nova decides the best way to cheer him up is by romancing him, because clearly that's the solution to every emotional crisis. Later, Nova introduces Nick to her roommate, Gabrielle. But as soon as Nick sees her, he freezes. Turns out, Gabrielle is his ex-girlfriend. Small world or lazy scriptwriting. You decide. Nick gets so flustered that he bolts out of there, but accidentally leaves his phone behind. Nick goes to meet his friend, who's busy delivering drugs. Nick tells him he's promised Nova he won't do anything illegal anymore, but his friend drags him into trouble anyway. Meanwhile, Nova finds Nick's phone in her apartment and learns about the drug deal. She storms off to confront him at the drug deal location. Nick's friend goes inside alone, but Nick, feeling guilty, follows. Inside, Nick runs into Ronnie's brother. Remember Ronnie? He kidnapped Nova in the last movie. Ronnie's men recognize Nova and start beating Nick up because Ronnie's brother is in jail because of him. A full-blown fight breaks out. But don't worry. The cops arrive just in time to arrest everyone. Apparently, the police are better at showing up for climactic fights than actual emergencies. Sophia, the lawyer/parental plant, steps in and handles the case, getting Nick and Nova out of trouble. Nick begs her not to tell his dad, and Sophia, for reasons unknown, agrees. Back at the apartment, Nova is furious with Nick for getting involved in illegal stuff again. Nick apologizes and promises he'll never do it again. To win her over, he gifts her a cat. Because nothing says, "I'm sorry for almost getting arrested," like a random pet. They return to Nova's apartment and start romancing again, only for Gabriel to walk in and ruin the mood. Nick awkwardly excuses himself. Poor guy can't catch a break, except maybe a restraining order from his ex. The next morning, Nick's mom visits Nova, but Nova isn't interested in listening and tells her to leave. Nick's mom, proving she majored in Persistence 101, doesn't budge and tells Nova she has the truth about Nick if she wants to hear it. She offers to talk the next day. Later, Nova heads home, only to see Sophia and Nick's family having dinner together. Sophia is sitting way too close to Nick, which makes Nova jealous. She starts realizing that Nick might have lied about Sophia being bad news. Furious, Nova declares in front of everyone, "Nick and I want to live together in the same room." Cue collective gasps and the sound of forks dropping. Nova storms off in dramatic fashion, leaving everyone stunned. After she leaves, Nova's mom shares a little tea with everyone, explaining that Nova has nightmares ever since her dad left, and that's why she acts out. Nick chases after Nova to explain. She's not having it and accuses him of being too cozy with Sophia. Nick assures her, "I only love you, Nova," but Nova throws shade and adds, "Oh yeah? Then why is your dad trying to marry you off to Sophia?" Nick, trying to pull out the Romeo act, promises no one can come between them. But Nova isn't convinced and storms off again. Nova's storming off game is becoming Olympic-level impressive. Later, Nova decides to meet Nick's mom at home, where no one else is around. Nick's mom drops a bombshell. "I didn't leave Nick. Custody was taken away from me unfairly." She shows Nova some old papers and photos, revealing that Nick's father had been having an affair with Nova's mom back when Nova was a kid. Turns out, Nick's father accused his mom of false things to get custody of Nick. If family drama was a sport, this would win gold. Nick's mom also sneaks into Nick's dad's room and takes his toothbrush for reasons best left mysterious. She gives Nova a letter for Nick. Nova leaves it on Nick's table, but Nick reads it and immediately tears it up. Classic Nick, destroying meaningful moments like it's his hobby. To patch things up with Nova, Nick takes her to dinner and shows her a tattoo of her name on his hand. Nova looks at it and says, "Great, now you're stuck with that forever. Smart move. Burn level, medium well." They dance, and things seem to calm down until Nick drops another bomb. He has to go to London with Sophia for a case. Nova isn't thrilled but doesn't argue. Before Nick leaves, she suggests he talk to his mom, but Nick refuses. The guy has mastered the art of ignoring good advice. After Nick leaves, Nova moves into his apartment. In London, Nick meets his grandfather and asks about his ex-girlfriend. Grandpa spills the tea, telling him the accident that sent his girlfriend to the hospital for 6 months wasn't his fault, so he needs to stop blaming himself. Later, Sophia announces that they've solved their case. Overjoyed, Nick hugs Sophia, because nothing says solved case like an awkwardly timed hug in front of people waiting to gossip. Nova was chilling in Nick's apartment when her mom decided it was time for some serious guilt tripping. She started spilling her life story, but Nova, not one to back down, snapped, "I know how long you were with Nick's dad. If you didn't stop yourself from loving, why should I?" Boom! Nova, 1 mom, 0. Then, in true dramatic fashion, Nova stormed out. Meanwhile, Nick returned to his apartment to share the good news about winning his case, only to find it empty. Nova wasn't there because she was next door, sipping drinks with Gabriel and a guy named Michael. Gabriel got sleepy and left, but Michael had other plans. He tried getting close to Nova, who promptly shut him down and threw him out. Michael clearly forgot that Nova takes no nonsense, even with a drink in her hand. As Michael was leaving, Nick arrived just in time to witness the awkward scene. Furious, Nick told Nova to stay away from Michael. Nova, with a deadpan look, suggested, "Maybe we should take a break." Nick assumed she was joking and went off, scolding her before storming out. Pro tip, Nick: when a girl says break, she's not talking about Kit Kats. Elsewhere, Sophia started catching feelings for Nick because apparently drama attracts drama. Nick, still fuming, headed to his friend's garage to vent. Instead of sympathy, his friend dragged him into a car race, saying, "Ronnie's out of jail. Let's settle the score." Nick, because his decision-making skills are impeccable, agreed. At the race venue, Nova showed up too, ready to take revenge on Ronnie for kidnapping her. Nick was stunned. Surprise, Nick. Nova's not just good at throwing shade. She's also a secret racer. The race began, and cars zoomed off like it was a scene straight out of Fast and Furious. Gabriel, ever the party pooper, called the police to report the race. The cops showed up, but the racers managed to escape. In a climactic moment, Nick and Nova sandwiched Ronnie's car, forcing him to crash into a police vehicle. Ronnie got arrested again, proving karma never takes a day off. Nick's friend won the race, and everyone went their separate ways, except for the police officers who were probably filing very annoyed reports. Later, Nick attended a party his dad hosted to celebrate his and Sophia's case win. Nova and Gabriel showed up too because why not? Drama follows these people like a shadow. Gabrielle spilled some tea about her past with Nick, saying, "When I had an accident with you, I was pregnant, but you left me." Nick's face probably screamed, "Plot twist I did not sign up for." As if that wasn't enough chaos, Nova arrived with Nick's mom in tow, and jaws dropped. Nick's mom grabbed the mic metaphorically and declared, "I wasn't the cheater. William was." He had an affair with Nova's mom. The plot thickened as she added, "Nova is William's daughter, and she deserves a share of the family property. Who needs soap operas when your life is one?" Nick, still trying to process, asked for proof. His mom whipped out the ultimate trump card, a DNA test using William's toothbrush. She revealed that Nick's grandfather had thrown her out of the house because of his father's affair and had taken custody of Nick. Moral of the story: never leave your toothbrush lying around. It could change someone's inheritance. Nick, clearly in the mood for drama, asked Nova, "Do you even have a toothbrush? How did he even meet you?" Nova, unfazed, replied, "I let him come into the house." Nick, being Nick, flipped out. "Oh, cool, Nova. Just casually letting people in like you're hosting a neighborhood open house." He started yelling, "You ruined everything. I was happy with my dad until now. But now I realize he's just as wrong as Mom, who's only here for the property. All of this is because of you. I was happy before you came into my life." Yes, Nick, because blaming someone else for your chaos is such a great personality trait. Nick stormed off dramatically, leaving Nova to chase after him. She tried to talk things out, but he hit her with, "Whatever happened between us is over." Then, because Nick doesn't do subtlety, he marched back into the party and kissed Sophia in full view of everyone. Bravo, Nick. That's one way to graduate from messy to disaster. Watching this, Nova was heartbroken. Gabriel, always lurking with shady intentions, swooped in to show Nova some photos of Nick and Sophia, fueling the fire of heartbreak. Nova, overwhelmed, left the party. Nick, trying to leave with Sophia, found himself ditched by her too. Congrats, Nick. You've managed to ruin 2 relationships in one night. A personal best. He then tried to explain to Nova that she shouldn't do anything she'd regret. Somewhere in all this chaos, Nick realized he still loved Nova. Nick, the king of epiphanies that come 5 minutes too late. Nick frantically searched for Nova at the party, but she was nowhere to be found. Instead, he ran into Gabriel, who smugly revealed her master plan. "You'll never find Nova now," she sneered. Turns out, this whole mess was orchestrated by Gabriel to take revenge on Nick, and she had succeeded. Cute evil laugh and a dramatic hair flip. Meanwhile, Nova, crushed by what she had seen, went to Michael to distract herself. When Michael got close to her, she didn't stop him, consumed by sadness. But when she stepped outside, she spotted Nick. Their eyes met, and Nick noticed something. Nova's necklace was missing. That necklace had been their symbol of connection, and its absence spoke volumes. Translation: "We're done, buddy." Nova walked away without a word, and Nick, heartbroken, let her go, a single tear rolling down his cheek. Classic Nick, crying after making his own mess. In the next scene, Nova visited her dad's grave to say goodbye forever. But as she stood there, she noticed something written nearby. It was a note from Nick. He had written, "Whenever there's darkness in your life, I'll come as the light." Nova got emotional, her heartbreak mixed with confusion. She left the graveyard, but the movie ended on a cliffhanger. Because, of course, why tie up loose ends when you can leave everyone wondering if Nick's dramatic declaration was just another case of him trying to fix things too late?